Hello, friends. I'm Susan Boback, the card connoisseur, and I want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. This project that you see in front of you here is the project that I found that actually was created or part of a craft magazine way back February 1st, 2006. I thought it was kind of interesting that I was to find it this time of year and 20 years later. So this design was submitted to this magazine by a lady named Paula Huiras. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. She was at that time from New Ulm, Minnesota. So Paula, if you're out there in crafting land, I want to thank you for this. The title of the project is called A Funky Folder. And I'd like to remind you that 20 years ago, we weren't uploading videos to YouTube to do our favorite crafting projects. We weren't showing reels on Instagram or texting or messaging quite the way we do now. And so this template was in a craft magazine, as I said, and you were to copy the template and then enlarge it on your copier. So I'm not going to share the template with you. I'm not sure if it's copyrighted, but I can tell you how I put it together to make what she calls a funky folder. Now, I like things that are just a little bit out of the ordinary, and this is a project that I said that I saw that inspired me to do several projects with these arch dies. So let me explain. I do have some handwritten instructions right here, which I will leave right over here to the side of my workspace so that you can see them. You can take a screenshot. You can follow along with my instructions. And so here it goes. And I made the first one out of an existing card. So the measurements on this are not going to be exactly the same as the measurements here. I will put one together for you so you can see how I did it. And perhaps you'll be like me and think, but how could I make it better? How could I make it different? That's often what I find myself doing when I see a pattern. It's very difficult for me actually to make something exactly as I see it. The papers that I'm using in one of today's projects are called Splash of Sparkles, and these are designer series papers with Stampin' Up, as are the dies. And this little key and padlock that you see here is from this die set, Tags to Go, and I believe these are a retired product from Stampin' Up, but it has all these neat things that have to do with keys and locks. And since I am a junk journalist, I found this to be very interesting. So this funky folder would be a perfect thing to give as a gift card holder. Let's see if I can get this untied. So it opens like that, it opens like that, and then you could put your message in the middle. Now let me show you a card that I made actually using this template. And I didn't use the arch dies on this. As you can see, they're just corner rounded here. But I did use a little tag that says Fabulous Friend. This is not a card that opens. It's a quarter of a sheet of cardstock. So that would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just 1/4. It's the base for the card. Then I'm just going to slide this open. And it's going to open like this. And then you can see it says Happy Birthday. And then I'm going to take this down, and this says, To a Fabulous Friend. Open this flap and this flap, and here's a gift card right inside. So you can see already how versatile this would be. You could use it for any occasion. You could put a little message on each one. You could put some currency in here, or even a small gift. So it's going to fold up like that, like that, like that, and then you're going to put either a little sticker here or some other kind of thing to hold it together. Now, with it being Valentine's Day, I have been making Valentine's and red and gold projects. And here's another one. I used some retired paper here. I love metallic, and I cut with a punch some hearts. And it opens up like this, and then like this and like this. Now, this one I haven't glued together, so I could show you how the measurements come together. And again, here's my instructions right here on how I made this one and how I made this one. So as I said, the red one and the yellow one are out of cardstock. This one is made out of the double-sided designer series paper, or if you have scrapbook paper. You might like to look at both sides because maybe you don't like the pattern on the other side, but make sure that if you do and you're going to see it, that you have the right side up as you're folding. And what this is you're just going to take two pieces and you're going to round the corners. You're going to score it at certain marks and fold them together, and then you're going to glue them across each other, and they're really not that hard to make. Well, so here's your instructions right here. You're going to cut two pieces that are 8.5 long by 3.5 wide. So you can see that here. Here's my two pieces. Okay, and then they're 3.5 inch wide. Now, I've had a little issue with scoring, because if you put anything into this and it raises it up a little, when you go to fold it together like this, you might find that it doesn't fold together exactly the way you thought it would, because there's a gift card or something in there. So these instructions are the best of my knowledge. I just reworked them before this video. And I think this is the best way to do it. I'll show you something at the very end that I think is even a simpler way if you want to try that. But before I get to folding it, I want to show you how to use your dies to round out a corner without cutting out the whole thing. So this is the 3-inch arch die. And when you put it in your embossing machine, your cut and emboss machine, of course, you're going to lay it between the two appropriate layers, plates, I believe they're called. And you're going to get it all set. And then you're going to put your die right on the very edge of the paper. Excuse me. Then when you roll it through your machine, you're only going to roll it through up to about here. You're not going to go all the way to the end of the die, because of course, if you roll it and you put it under the rollers all the way out to here, it's going to cut out this whole shape. But you just want the curve of the end of this arch. So just remember that when you put it on your paper, perhaps you're going to have to use a little washi tape to tape it down, and make sure to just roll in. So you might even have to guess, but just put it down. You could put some washi tape there to mark it, and just go under the rollers a partial way so you can get the curved edge. Now, if you don't have a die cut machine or these dies, you could use a peanut butter jar, a pickle jar cover, just something that is rounded, about 3 inches wide. Hold it there, make a little pencil mark, and then cut it off. It's not that difficult. So now you've got your two 8.5 by 3.5 inch pieces with a rounded edge. You're going to score at 2 inches on the left and 2 5/8 inches on the right. Now let me show you on this paper trimmer of Stampin' Up. It has to be different so that it can overlap like this. This isn't designed for it to just come together like that. So on the left, I'll line this up right here with the 2 inches. You could maybe see that there. Let's see. You're going to bring the paper, of course, right up to the paper guide and right out to this 2-inch mark. Ugh. Must have the wrong side up there. And then you're going to take your scoring blade. Remember, on this cutter, it's the gray one. And then you're going to score it at 2 inches on the left and 2 5/8 inches on the right. Then you're going to fold in each section, you know, fold it and crease it. And you're going to do the same scoring on the red piece too. I think you're probably too close there. And maybe by now you will have known, do you want to put a gift card, a money, or do you want to just put happy birthday? So then you're going to line it up with the other score lines, with the score line on the top and the score line on the bottom. And you're going to put some glue here, and you're going to glue it down the straightest you can get it. And there it will be. And then you can decide which flaps you want to go in. It's really that simple. Okay, and then I have some twine that I put around there. I think if I was smart, I would make a bunch of these in various colors, and then I would have them ready anytime I want to give a card. Now, if you notice, I have instructions here that says or you can put together one that, oh wait, I've made a mistake. I would just want to show you the yellow one. So here's the yellow one. I've used just a little ephemera sticker to close it. I think in a way that's even better than the twine. And I wanted to show you that you could make a card that goes right on the inside. So if you wanted to make a card to go on the inside, this would be a 3x6. You're just going to fold it in half. I don't have that written here, but if it's 3.5 inch wide, you'd want to do it at 3 1/4 or 3 so that it fits in there so that it'll fold up. So here's the card, happy birthday to a fabulous friend. And that would fit right in there, fold over, and go like that. This would be nice if you were putting it in a gift, like a gift bag. You could put it in an envelope, but I think it would make a really nice card to put in a gift bag. So now we'll be to this section that says or. If you don't have, you don't want to follow this instructions, then this is what you can do. You can cut a 9x9 square of paper, of cardstock, and you can score it at 3 inches on all 4 sides. And if you look at this little drawing right here, here's my 9-inch square, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches, 6 inches, 3 and turn it, and then 3 inches and 6 inches. And you can see that here. So the instructions say score at 3 inches on all 4 sides, 3 inches, 6 inches, 3 inches, 6 inches. And then you have these, you have it like this. But what you're going to do next, let's see, I'll get a pen. What you're going to do is you're going to cut these 4 sections out. Looks like we're playing tic-tac-toe, doesn't it? Then you will get left with this crisscross piece, and you don't have to glue it together like in this instructions because it's already one piece. Then you use your die or your peanut butter jar and you curve the edges on them. But the one thing that I've noticed with this, and I do think this is much easier to make a funky folder like this. When you fold it in, be aware Maybe you should do this before you cut the curves. When you fold it in, be aware that you don't want the curved edge to go up above this fold line at all. Otherwise, it won't fold. Now, even this is a little snug. And so you would just fold it all in like that. And there's your funky folder. I kind of like the way this looks because it looks more like a wallet. Anyway, that's the funky folder for today. Let's see, I have one more here. You could make this for any season, any reason. Make a funky folder for a gift card or a special greeting for a friend. Now, thanks for watching, and go and get creative. Bye.